Oh, doing it. Okay. Hello, this is Linda Mutch, and I'm with my friend Dennie Briggs, my mentor and my professor friend. We've been discussing reincarnation, we've been discussing channeling, and the newest part of our discussion has been about the fact that Dennie is able to dream about his departed partner of over 15 years and receive information from him. And essentially, we're introducing the idea that perhaps Jungian's universal unconsciousness is happening with us in a different level, and that perhaps Dennie is able to tap into John's unconsciousness, and perhaps there's no limit to the kinds of communication that can take place with human beings or animals on different levels, and it's clearly no longer restricted to being in body, because John is now dead and gone and has been so for over 15 years. And yet Dennie receives specific instructions from him in the dream state. When I say in the dream state, I mean Dennie is asleep, and then he knows John is there. He doesn't see him, but he knows he's there. Similar and on a different level as when I channel and give readings for people who we say have crossed over. Similar to what other people who have done this. And I was given a good example of perhaps evidence that Bob would really like to hear me say. That's Dennie's departed brother, who is also now coming to Dennie in the dream state. That perhaps what we have historically defined as a prodigal child, meaning someone who's born and at the age of 2 or 3 has the capacity to play piano symphonies, when everyone knows no one taught the child how to do this. And the explanation has been that this is a prodigal, a strange gift that this child was born with. And we are now entertaining the thought that perhaps this child came in with recall or memory from a past life, or better yet, perhaps this prodigal child simply is able to tap into Bach's unconscious and play Bach music. There is no limit to the possibilities that this young girl that sings, who's 7-year-old, and holds herself like an opera singer, naturally. Maybe this natural singer is tapping into the unconscious of a deceased opera singer, or brings it in from a past life.
You see, this tuning in intrigues me. We talked about this several times before in the conversation, and we talked about the idea of preparation and that marvelous session we had.
Yes, Dennie's reminding me that some months ago, I came on a day in order to do a quote-unquote reading for Dennie.
Right.
And I was just as apprehensive as he was. But he was quite apprehensive. And yet, as we proceeded, I do Native American ritual ceremony, which is saging. And saging, in my belief system, assists. You burn sage and you circle the body that you're going to read, and you simply say out loud that you're clearing away negative energy and you're opening the chakras to be receptive to this. Well, later on, Dennie described to me that this was a process to him. And in doing this, I took away some of the anxiety that he felt about the reading. And now I recognize Dennie also has a process. Dennie's process, if you will, to prepare to receive information in the dream state is to quiet himself. Now, when I say quiet, I mean really quiet. Dennie spends a good deal of his day, at least when he's going to take a nap, or is this before bedtime?
Mm.
Is it before bedtime that you quiet yourself?
Yeah.
That he quiets himself in a way that we would define meditating. He meditates not with music, not with voice, just with himself. And he is so able to quiet himself that he's able then to go to sleep and have this marvelous dream experience. And I think it is a process.
It's a reception.
It's a reception. It's what everything I've read about meditation has told me would happen.
But
That if you quiet yourself, you can receive information from your guides, your teachers, angels. This is on a spiritual path now. But Denny never had any of this.
I don't meditate.
He doesn't quote unquote meditate.
I quiet
He
myself.
quiets himself. And tomato, tomato.
Well, it's like Krishnamurti said, I meditate every day, but I don't make a habit of it. And, I don't make a habit of meditation.
You don't, Denny does, it just made a joke about, well, who said this?
Krishnamurti.
Krishnamurti used to say, I don't meditate. No, I meditate every day, but I don't make a habit of it. Right?
Right.
So what you're saying is you don't, quote unquote, meditate in your definition,
Right.
but you do quiet yourself.
Mm.
And that means you sit yourself down and you give yourself the space, not necessarily to think, but to not think, which is meditation. However, not to quibble, it is a preparation. And certainly, if you're running around like I am, and you're too busy, you're preventing this from happening.
Right.
He wanted me to get that message today, which I got.
Right.
And those who have written all their books about meditation say the same. At quieting oneself, whether it's near a fountain or a brook or just sitting anywhere, and quieting yourself sufficiently, regularly, that this puts you in the space where you can receive information in that state, or as Denny has developed it, in the dream state. Because it happens to him almost nightly. So we're not saying that Denny, quote unquote, remembers a dream he had last week. This is a conscious, living experience he is having with his departed partner. And to Denny, it feels as though he is receiving ongoing experiences in this way. Correct? Give me a vivid dream where you received an experience of this that I'm defining. You mentioned Moscow. So what did that feel like in the dream?
Well, we arrived in Moscow. I don't know why Moscow. In real life, never did we ever discuss going to Moscow. But I've had that dream 4 or 5 times.
And when you say we arrived in Moscow,
right.
You're not saying literally that you saw yourselves arrive at a train station.
No.
Oh, you are?
Yes, we arrived at the airport.
So Denny is with John
right.
together in his dream, and they are together arriving at
the train station.
The train station in Moscow.
Yeah, we got out of the train and we're walking through a crowded neighborhood, a very sort of run-down neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And we feel kind of frightened and maybe rather get out of this place and
right.
get to some place that's a little more safe. And in that sense, we're doing something together.
Yes, and in this, so he lands with John at a train station, and they're walking down a street, and they recognize that it's kind of a poor area of town, and then they begin to feel, and they share this, that maybe they shouldn't be there. It might be a little bit dangerous for them. And so this is an actual experience, a real live experience that Denny is having in the dream state